Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at something that's quite essential for any guitar player, pretty much any style. But for some people have a hard time understanding exactly how to go about it. That means playing with a metronome. Yeah, so playing with a metronome can help your technique just about more than anything. But just to get your head around how to play with a machine, basically, is what a lot of people have a hard time doing. So I'm going to try to break this down as simple as possible. It's going to be a very simple lesson, but just a good concept of how metronomes work and how you practice beats and dividing the beat subdivisions with it. So it'll hopefully take some of the confusion out of it, and then you can take this and then just take it to all new levels. All right, first of all, I have a metronome here, and I have it set to about 65 beats per minute. All right. So I'm going to turn this on here, and if you can follow the tab that you can download with this, we have this metronome going at a constant beat. So if it says 65 BPM, that means 65 beats per minute is what you're getting, and that's what you're hearing. So the first step of playing with the metronome is just be able to play with the actual beats itself. Now I'm just going to play 5th fret on one string, the G string, just with downstrokes. Just One, two, three, four. All right, simple as that. You know, you want to think of, just in the beginning, think of things as a four beat groups, because that's what common time is in music, and the massive majority of music is 4 beats per measure. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. So we have just 4 beats, so that's how you would count it. Each click of the metronome is one of those beats. You need to have 4 beats, and then you go back to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, if you look at example 2 on the tab, we're going to ramp it up a little bit. Now we're going to divide this beat into 2 notes. So to just playing 1 note in every one, we're going to have now, we're still going to play the downstroke whenever you hear the beat. But on your way back up to hit that downstroke again, hit an upstroke on the string. So now the timing is, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, that beat's still going to stay in the same place, but we're going to divide that beat into 2 beats, little subdivisions. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm just going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you practice it with 1 beat there, a 1 note there, but then take what example 2 does and just play 2 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so the and is the upbeat. It's basically the up motion of your hand, the upstroke of that particular beat. So we've divided that beat now into 2 notes, a subdivision of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now the next one we have is 3 notes per beat. So obviously things get faster the amount of beats that you have. I mean, as long as the tempo is staying the exact same, which is 65 beats per minute right here, we're going to have to play a little bit faster because we have 3 notes for every beat. Now, since this is an odd number too, you're picking, every single time you pick these 3 notes, it's going to be different. The first time, since you're picking 3 notes, it's going to be down, up, down. And then the second time playing those notes, it's going to be up, down, up. As long as you continue alternate pickings, which means you can't do 2 downstrokes or upstrokes in a row there. So, first of all, let's get the timing of it down. You go to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It might help in the beginning to accent where you hear the metronome click. So basically the beat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that makes me have the first accent is on a downstroke. 1 and the second accent on a upstroke, 2 and. Okay, so we have 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay? So those are called triplets. Now the ones we did before where it was just 2 notes per beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and those were eighth notes. When you take just 1 note, you just play on the beat 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are quarter notes. Now it's called quarter notes because for a standard 4-beat measure, that note is played 4 times, so each note takes up a quarter of the measure. Pretty easy to understand, all right? An eighth note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, well, as you can see, as we get through the whole measure, you get to play 8 of them now. 8 notes instead of 4 because you've divided that beat for 2 notes per every single beat. So now we have 8 beats within that one measure. That's why they're called eighth notes, all right? Now we have triplets here. They're called triplets because tri means 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have the counting of that will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and so I'm just playing 5, 7, 8 there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can slow the metronome down or speed it up if you want to whatever your level is. All right, but the idea is to stay with this metronome. It keeps you very consistent and gauges exactly how fast you're playing so you can gauge your progress. Like you've got 65 beats down today. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and tomorrow shoot for 67. And you can gauge your progress, write it down or whatever, what you can play each particular exercise that is part of your practice routine. How fast you can play it cleanly, keep it clean. And then you can really gauge your progress. It's a good motivational tool, but it also keeps you very accurate. All right, the last line we have here is 4 notes. We're going to subdivide each beat, 3, 4, into 4 individual notes. So we're going to subdivide it. So it's going to become 4 notes per beat. So how many beats and notes would we be able to have in a common 4-beat measure? 16. So that's why these are called 16th notes. So we have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So the 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are still the beats, and then all the rest of the notes are all the little subdivisions. So we have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So every single one is picked the same now since it's an even number. All the beat can always fall on a downstroke there. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. All right. Now get the feel of it down, and now let's get the coordination of playing 1 pick stroke for every finger. Just going 5, 6, 7, 8 on this G string here. Ready? And 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Okay? So now you want to just broaden this out a little bit. You can do one thing. You try to get a feel of these different rhythms by going one to the other. So basically keeping the 65 and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Do the triplets to the 8ths to the 16ths. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Or just don't practice all 4 at the same time. Just practice 2. So practice 8th notes to triplets. You know, and just get the feels and just be able to hear these divisions in your head. There are metronomes that do it for you, so they'll have the first note accented, and then they'll give you the little subdivisions too. So they'll be like, that'd be okay to maybe get the sound of it in your head, but really you want to kind of be able to feel this on yourself, and it's not really hard if you can count it out at first and get the feel of it. Then just start challenging yourself. Take your exercises like your pentatonic scales. And just say we do that 8th note feel, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and just repeating 4 of those notes, or you can do it in 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4, and then the next string sets down. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. So you get very used to this playing with this constant beat, telling you exactly how fast you're playing. And then gauge your progress. The next day I got it at 65. Okay, I'll ramp it up to 70 here. All right, and then we'll do it again. The next day. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. Go back up. 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. All right. The next day you bump it up a few more. Obviously you practice it more than just one time across and back. You know, you just practice it for a few minutes each exercise. And that is how you really get a handle on these metronomes. And then you start getting into, 5 notes per beat, which is an odd number of grouping, but it's also a larger number of grouping, so it's a little bit harder to feel. But you'll get into that after you accomplish these basic. You got what a quarter note is, which is just playing right on the beat, and then the 8th notes, triplets, and 16th notes. That is a massive majority of the rhythms that you're going to see and be able to have to feel when you're listening to popular music. All right? So I hope you guys enjoy this, and this might clear up a little bit of confusion for somebody. All right? So please let me know what other lessons you would like to see at guitarlessons365.com. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.